ISUPK 53rd Annual Lord's Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 Shamor Yalo. We here to let you know the 53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, the palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022 is going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
Black power, 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000. 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000.
Two. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you, I had your life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me, but that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the fence. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head'll make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap, I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and that's not really fair. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. It's UPK until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand. Gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty. Make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jam. Shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me cry cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pop smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was a gangster. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster.
Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Barakatam, Yahweh Shema, Alatha Ba Hashem, Yahushua, Alatan Ba Hashem, Yahushua. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, way back in 1969. And today, under Commanding General Yohana, we go throughout the earth teaching to so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans the truth of the Bible. Why? Because so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native American Indians are in fact the lost children of Israel. The same Israel to whom Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go. The same Israel found in the Bible. You are them. The mother folks over there across the water, strange looking folks call themselves Jewish. They are fakes. They are fakes. You are the Israelite so-called black man, so-called Mexican man, so-called Native American man or woman. You are the Israelites found in the Bible. You are the Hebrews found in the Bible. You are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And all this time, you only thought you was a Negro. This is Friday. This is the La-Sha-Wan Quadash, which is the Holy Tongue. And this is the La-Sha-Wan or the Holy Tongue class, where we teach you your language. This is the oldest language in the earth. It was the language Adam spoke. You see that? It was the The language the whole earth spoke up until the Tower of Babel. Up until the Tower of Babel. Now that since then the languages got mixed up, you lost this language. Now we are bringing it back. We're bringing it back to you in the basics. Of course, there's going to be men raised up mightier than me coming up behind us that's going to teach better, and won't be long if you stick with it. Before this is what you're speaking conversationally with your own people. This is the La-Sha-Wan Kodash, what we have in front of us right now. Now you need to get on this. Everybody is moving to nationalism. You see all the people was on the news talking about they want to, private individuals want to support Ukraine against Russia. You see that? And Russia is getting stronger and stronger in their stance. You see. This is some, I ain't never seen nothing like this when folk go to war and stuff like that. Normal people, everyday people just don't care or hope they son or daughter don't end up having to go over there. These are good oppressors coming on TV, standing up and saying, we want to support. One fella got married the other day. That's crazy as all get out. He got married the other day, and he either leaving this weekend or he's just left to go to Ukraine to be a part of their uh, uh, defense force, voluntary defense force. His reasoning is he's used to be a Marine. You see what I'm saying? On the Navy, something. He was somebody in Esau's military, and he's going to Ukraine to fight so some teenage boy don't have to fight for his country. So this American Edomite is going to go fight, just so a Ukraine Edomite don't have to fight a Russian Edomite. Y'all get this? It's crazy as all get out. This is why we need our own language. This is why we need our own language, because the world is gone to hell in a handbasket. You see, that's why we need our own language. And that's what this class is about, teaching you, bringing you back to your language. You know you're in captivity because you refuse to follow your own culture and you chased after other cultures, which I didn't say had, have you worshiping other gods, have you doing all types of things against the laws and statute commandments of the Most High, which He gave us. This is why our forefathers did it, got us in captivity. We continue to do it, keeps us in captivity. What are you talking about, Officer Mishah? You celebrate birthdays, you go to church on Sunday, uh, you just disregard the Sabbath. Just you don't honor father and mother. Uh, you're sleeping. You're living in situational monogamy where you have this man. Some of you ain't even doing that. You're just hoeing. Uh, you got 4 babies and 5 baby daddies. You got 10 baby mamas and ain't trying. You ain't do nothing but sleep with each of them until they got pregnant. Then you left them. You see what I'm saying? You just slept with them to sleep with them. You didn't sleep with them to be your wife. We are disobeying all types of laws, statutes, and commandments. And for this cause, we are in captivity and remain in captivity. But praise the Most High. You know what I'm saying? The Most High be praised. And Yahweh Shah, our King, be praised for Commanding General Yohana, who didn't put down his sword. And under Commanding General Yohana today, we teach the scriptures to so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans, that they might be saved, that they might hear the good news, that they might hear the gospel. You see that? And there's nothing Christian about us. This is our culture. There's nothing religious about us. This is our culture. That's what we're attempting to bring back to you, is our culture. My job on Friday is to bring you our language in its most basic form, the alphabet, and some basic words, basic phrases, different things like this. Again, this is the La-Sha-Wan Kodash, which means holy tongue or holy language. This is your language. All right. What these are the characters, or what you would call the ABCs, or the letters of your language. If you learn these letters, if you can look at these letters and pronounce them, then you will be able to read uh, our language. Now, translation is another thing. Gonna take a whole lot of study. Uh, whole lot of study. And you're gonna have to do that. So don't just look at this class. Look at other brothers' classes that teach this, that teach the La-Sha-Wan Kodash. We teach it at different levels. Uh, like I said, I'll do the basic and gonna get you started, and then you go and you look up another brother teaching La-Sha-Wan Kodash is gonna go to a whole nother level. Gonna get you more conversational. He's gonna get you into tenses and plurals and singulars and masculine and femininity and all of that. We'll give you the bases on that too, but these brothers will be taking you beyond that. So we got that out the way. And here we go. Let's start teaching this. You know, y'all saw me writing this while the music was still playing. And so this is our alphabet, if I could. And here they are. I'm gonna sound them off. Now here's the thing about our alphabet. A few things about how we write, how we speak, all of that. Here's the first thing. Notice we write from right to left, not left to right. We write from right to left, not from left to right. So the word is read this way. First letter, second letter, third letter, fourth letter, first letter, second letter, third letter. You see that? We read right to left. We do not read left to right. Okay? Now, another thing. What I've written below the letters is how to pronounce that character. How to pronounce that character. And this is the primary sound of that character. Wherever you see it. We're going to go over it. I'm going to let you hear it as well. The primary sound of that character. Okay? And I said primary for a reason. We'll get to that before we move on with the main focus of today. Okay? But this is the primary sound, and that primary sound is also what we recognize as the fellow that taught me, what we recognize the character to be, or the name of the character. This is the I, the Ba, the Ga. Now, I understand if you want to get out here and do it the oppressive way, and you go look at books and study Yiddish, this is going to be the Aleph. We ain't going there. We're not going there. This is the I, the Ba, the Ga, the Da, the Ha, the Wa, the Za, the Ha, the Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Ta, Za, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. You see that? This is the sound that each one of these characters make, and at the same time, it is how we identify the character. You may write your translation a certain way, and I was saying, you came out there and this is what you said, and yet an ah is missing or a na is missing. Salakia Israel. You see, I might be missing, and so I would be talking about this character here. That is missing from your answer, or you might say, write your answer a certain way, and I would say, well, yeah, what you've written looks like this. Taza Ra or Taza Rash, because you said this was it, but for what you write, I had to put these letters together a certain kind of way. You see, and it does not appear to be the same thing. Those who come in on a regular basis understand what I'm saying. When we went through that the last couple of weeks, we sat up there and we wrote what you wrote down right up under the word, the Hebrew word, and then you got to see that. So let's go over this again. These are the characters right? These are the primary sounds of each character. There are 22 characters in the ancient Hebrew alphabet, okay? In the ancient Hebrew alphabet, there are 22 characters, and they are Ba, Ga, Ga, Ha, Wa, Za, Kha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha. Are you still with me? You still there? It might got a little noise because it's still winter time, so I had to cut the heat all the way in the commercial building, so the heat's going to be a little loud. But what I need you to do, if this is your first time with us, if you haven't done this before, even if it's your 100th time with us, if you haven't done this before, get out your pen, get out your paper, and write this down. Go ahead and write this down. Okay. Also, for those who know, for those who don't know, well, we are fairly interactive here. That means when you're in the class, we're going to ask you to put your little fingers to the word, okay? We're going to ask you to make some responses in the chat room. So you might as well just say hello to everybody. Like I said, when we start, shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, to my brothers, shalom. Yahweh Shema, Alathan, Hashem, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, to my sisters. So if you could, I see there's a number of y'all already watching on different channels and everything. Go ahead and check into the chat room. Let us know who's up in here with us. Are you write this down? By God, I'm gonna keep it moving. By God, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, and tha. All right? That's how you pronounce those. Why do we keep going over this every week? We go over this every week because these are the basic building blocks you must have. You see what I'm saying? If I repeat it enough to you, you'll remember it. And you'll begin to hear things. And while you may not yet be able to interpret until you take other classes, you know the words. You will recognize the words. My name is Masha, Officer Masha. You see that? Officer Masha. So my name is up in here. You can actually write my name from these characters. One of my lovely wives' name is Shamayam. You can use these characters to write her name. Another one is the Bawa Ra. You can use the Bawa Wa, Salakia. You can, thick tone. You can use these characters to write that name. And if you have an Israelite name, you should be writing your Israelite name as much as possible in these characters. In these characters. Okay? So, everybody here, you got it written down? Okay, that's right. I see y'all checking in. There you go. There you go. And I see we get more people. I don't know if these dudes or y'all coming around at the same time. When before some will be here and some won't. But looking here, I like to see that number go up. Hit the like, hit the share this with somebody. You know what they say, we always working on the algorithm, right? But here we go. The La-Sha-Wan Kodash. Hello, Salakia. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Officer of 1,000 Masha out of the Detroit camp. Of course, you see on the screen ISUPK Detroit, or you can call it Detroit Israelites. These are the basic characters. These are the 22 characters of our alphabet. Okay? And what you see below is what I say, what we call, how we recognize or name of the character, as well as the primary sound produced by that character. Ah, ba, ga. That is a da. And when I see it, I say da. You see? Da, wa, da. The Magun Dawa Da. That means the shield of David. You see that? And you can actually write that. You know, well, we say David, but his name was Dawa Da. They say David. You know, we don't have no. I didn't see no V sound. You know, I didn't see no E sound in our characters. If you notice, our primary vowel sound is It's in everything except for one letter, and that's just the next vowel sound, and that's I. And we can't equate these with being letters. You know, it's our oppressor want us to call these characters, but we call ABCs letters, like they something different, right? No, these letters too. ABCs, those are their characters as well as letters. These are characters as well as letters. It's all the same thing. You got to be very careful in this captivity, because they'll have you doing something that seems so normal, and all you're doing is teaching yourself to hate yourself. You see, everything they've done to us is psychological. That's why we are the lost children of Israel. It ain't that the rest of the world don't know where we are or who we are. Hell, we don't know where we are or who we are. You see that? We don't know. That's why we're lost. You understand what I'm saying? With all that stuff going over in Ukraine, guess what? I don't care where you find a Ukrainian or whatever it is that you call them. I bet you he know who he is, where he come from. I bet you can trace his heritage. Can you, so-called African American? Can you, so-called Latino, Latina? Can you, so-called Native American? Can you trace your heritage beyond this hemisphere? Can you trace your heritage before the oppressor got here? Can you follow your heritage back? The oppressor can follow his. Hell, he created schools that do that. But can you? If you can't, this is one way to begin to learn how. Study your own language so you can begin to at least recognize you don't need Lot's children to tell you you're right. You do not need Esau's offspring to tell you you're right, to give you some sense of meaning. We are so lost that we depend on our oppressor to give us a sense of worth, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. You know why? Because we fell for white Jesus, blue-eyed Jesus, blonde-haired Jesus. When you're Hawashai, so he got skin as if fine brass burnt in the furnace. Yeah, sound pretty black to me. Anyway, I digress. Back to the La-Sha-Wan. Dash, y'all got this written down? Everybody can pronounce these? I, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, ka. Now, don't get the ka mixed up with the ka. You see that? We got one brother named Khatazab, and another brother named Khatab, and another brother named Khapan. All in Detroit camp. All these brothers are officers. You know what I'm saying? Now, I believe that's in there. Now I have to watch how they spell their name. Because if all of them, if they spell their name with this, then it's Ka. If they spell their name with this at the beginning, it's Ka. Big difference. Here's another thing you don't want to get mixed up with. Another two characters. You see this? That is the Ta. That is the Ta. By itself. Ta. Not to be confused with the Taza. Taza. Not to be confused. That's a whole different character. This is the Ta also, not to be confused with the Tha, which is more likely to happen. Folks will see this and pronounce it as Tha. No, it's Ta. Or they'll see this and they pronounce it as ta and no, it's tha. Salaki. Okay? We got that. And of course, I know we spend a lot of time on alphabets, on characters, the very basics, but you need all of this. Write it down. Make sure if this is your first, second time here, write it down. Get this. What you have here, what kind of sounds? Primary sounds that each character makes, right? There's a reason I told you that in the beginning, and I told you I was going to come back to it. Why? Because each one of our characters also have a secondary sound. You got it? A secondary sound. Primary sound I. Primary sound ba. Primary sound ga, da, ha, wa, za, kha, ta, ya, ka, la. All these are primary sounds. La, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, tha. Okay. I keep saying primary sounds, primary sounds. Well, since I keep saying primary sound, that stands the reason there must be what? Secondary sounds, right? The secondary sound. The secondary sound, so lucky for that, comes into play when you see this little thing right here. See that right there? That is called a connector. That is called a connector. All right? When you see that connector, all right, everybody else go check in. I think y'all holler at your folks. Let everybody know you here. Don't be ashamed. You up in the class. And since this is what? Classes ain't mandatory, but this is La-Sha-Wan class. This is a standard class. For those who are doing it 90 days, right? In their first 90 days, all classes are mandatory for you. Check in. Check in. So when somebody asks, has the brother been attending, the sister been attending the La-Sha-Wan class, you got an officer that can say, come. I don't want to come. Sister been here. You go back and look at the videos. You can see where they checked in. If you don't check in, how can I vouch that you was here? You see what I'm saying? All right. Secondary sound comes because of this right here, a connector. It may be like that, or it may be like that. Okay? And what happens, the second, remember we read right to left, the second character is the one that is sounded out with the secondary sound. With the secondary sound. So we know this is a what? Look at that. What that look like? Ain't that this one here? So we know the primary sound is a na. It's a na. Na. Like natazar. You see that? Natazar. Same as in not today. You see what I'm saying? Not. That's that sound right there. Okay. But the secondary sound is as in one, as in run, as in con. So this is a what? This is a wa, and this is a now. The secondary sound is and they're together. Wa, one. La, sha, primary sounds. Watch this. What's this? La, see that? Sha, la, sha, primary sound. Wa, secondary sound. You see that? Primary sound is not. The secondary sound is so it's La-Sha-Wan, and it get connected to the character in front of it. Same over here. That's a da. That's a sha. What do you think the secondary sound of a sha is? Who can give me that? Somebody respond back in the chat room. What is the secondary sound for a sha? What do you think that might be? And the sisters and brothers that's been here and know it, just write it in there. You can respond too. What is the secondary sound for the sha, for the character sha? That's what I'm at. Type it on here. It's an easy question. It's an easy easy question. Type it on here. And we'll get rid of it. What is the secondary sound for a shot? Also, if anything is blocked where you can't see it with the camera, because you know we got banners and stuff on, on the screen and stuff like that to look professional. So if we got anything blocked that you can't see that you really need to see, that's super important. Say something in the chat room. In this class, remember the chat room is your way to communicate back and forth and learn what you want to learn. You see that? To learn what you want to learn. This is not about just simply rote memorization and repeating back. You're not a robot. You see? But I'm waiting for that answer. Whether it's the soft or the secondary sound, when I ask that, I got good answer. But when I ask, give it to me as this, as it sounds in, and then write a word. Like I'm going to show you what I mean. This is the na, is the primary sound. But the secondary sound is as in the word run, as in the word con. You see what I'm saying? So when you give me the secondary sound, give it to me also as in the word whatever. Okay? Give it to me like that. That way I'll know for sure that you got it. So like you says, I'm going to say La-I, Sister wrote, and I'm so y'all can see it. And it sounds like it is, but you know what? Yeah, it sounds like it is, right? It sounds like it should be right because she said sharp. She said as in sharp, right? And the only reason I'm going to say La-I, because the other sister wrote just that, but I need as in, right? That's what prompted that. But sharp, I don't say yes and no, but I need it as in another word. As in another word. My name is La-Sha. That's the hard sound. Sha. Sha. That's the hard sound. La-Sha. All right? And that's at the beginning. But, okay, I see what you said, sis. I see what you said. And I see what y'all in here, if some other people can respond too. All right? What would be the soft sound of the sha? Use that to this. I'm going to give you a hint. It's the hard sound if it's used at the beginning of a word. As in, shalom, that's the sha. Shalom, that's the sha. Yahweh shamar, that's the sha. That's the hard sound. We're looking for the soft sound. The soft sound, the secondary sound, as in. And y'all don't say this, y'all don't sound picky. Y'all don't sound picky, but this gonna be, I'm gonna give you something that's true. If y'all give up, let me know. But give me the word, it's right in front of you. And it's one of the easy, I do it every week. I give you a word just whenever we do it. So, why is this important? Because sisters, you got to teach your grandchildren. You want to give them words. I remember as a little bitty boy, I don't know if she talked with the grandparents on both sides or what, but my mother came one day and she said this, and I'm not going to mess up the whole thing, but just watch this. She told us from now on every piece of clothing, everything we own, she wanted us to put that right there, to write that on everything we own, whether it's inside our books or whatever. level we on. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting for y'all. Come on, give me this soft sound of this shot. Now, she wanted us to put this in everything we own, right? We said, why? She said, this way can identify that belongs to this family. Because it's not a symbol, it's a word. And then she explained to us the secret of what we was looking at. See that? The secret. Once we understood what it is, then we could, it was great. We owned that. It was on everything. I wrote that on everything. And my older sister, she was crazy about it too. You see what I'm saying? But we put it on everything, which meant a lot. You couldn't steal from us. Why? Because we say that's mine and you stole it, right? You said, no, I didn't, la, 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 la. We will tell whoever investigated to look for this right here. Look for that. If you see that on there anywhere, you know it's mine. Because they can't tell you what it is. I can tell you what that is. I won't get up to y'all, but I can tell you what that is. Hebrew, the La-Sha-Wan Kodash works the same exact way. So we can do things, we can say things. Come on, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all give up? Y'all want me to give it to you? Y'all want me to give it to you? The secret is in pronunciation of the word. Listen to this. La-Sha-Wan. You see that? La-Sha-Wan Kwadash. This one is hard. This one is soft. So this is what? Pronounced softly as in the English word what? Come on now. In what English word? Listen to what I'm saying. La-Sha-Wan Kwadash. Give me some English words to give me that soft shot. Come on now. Come on. Brothers, sisters, brothers, sisters, y'all can do this. I believe in you. I believe in you. I'm not gonna go past this until somebody give me the right answer. This is sharp, and when it's connected with the connector, and the second it is pronounced the SH as in what English words? What English words got this? La-Sha-Wan. Sha is the hard one. Kodash. Kodash is the soft one. What English words got that same sound? There ain't nobody. Let's go. Super important. It's going to help you when you got to read. You know what the Passover, right? One of the greatest things is what? The Sabbath service. When we celebrating the Passover, then that Sabbath come around and we have that Sabbath service. Oh my. I might see my brothers. I remember I was so scared. A couple of Passovers. Brothers got up there, they was reading that Hebrew and stumbling over that Hebrew, and oh my God, I was shaking in my boots. It was just, I was just pleasantly pleased that it wasn't a requirement, that it wasn't an order to go up there with Captain Shapat the Posh, right? No, that wasn't Captain Shapat the Posh. That wasn't him. What is the captain's name? That be reading the Hebrew. That brother, the Latino brother. I got his name written down. I'll get to you, but man, that scared the daylights out of me. So, man, I can't recognize none of this. Then the brother, he made me sit down and go over this over and over and over and over and over. And what happens? Now I'm teaching the basic class. Wow. Spooky. All right. In the interest of time, when you see the Sha as the second letter, it's pronounced the SH as in, watch this. I'm going to make it real big. Fish, cash, right? Rash. Any place SH appears at the end of the word, it's different. It's cash. It's not, it's the end. It's not starting something. La-Sha-Wan. Or shall we go? Or shit. You see that? It's the softer, and all you're not going to get anything after the shh. That's why it's soft. That's the end of it. La-Sha-Wan. So you got something after sha, it's hard. Kodash. That's the end of it. It normally ends the word. It ends the sounds. Okay? That's the soft. As in fish, as in cash, as in rash, as in rush. Rush. You see that? Crush. You see that? Mash. Just remember that. Your sha, easy one. You're going to be testing on that. Okay. Everybody got that? Now, what are we going to learn new today? That's the question. What are we going to learn new today? I know we get on some of y'all nerves because we will go over a point. I don't care if it's in the scripture breakdown class, in the La-Sha-Wan doctrine. You know what? We might teach a damn finance class, and we'll go over the same point, what? 100 goddamn thousand times. Why? So you can have that down 100%, the basics 100%. Here's one of the things interesting as we teach younger men that's coming up, becoming prophets. You see what I'm saying? Men that's becoming officers and learning these scriptures and learning this profession. Don't get it wrong. Just because we have fun, don't think we are not professionals. You see that? Even as I teach this, there's a protocol in place for me to handle anything that happens at this location, at this school, while I'm here. That's called being a professional. See that? Called being a professional. We are, in fact, that. So, when we talk about brothers who's learning, who's becoming priests, who's becoming prophets, who's working towards becoming officers, that's because this is not a damn social club. You understand? Brothers, sisters, this is not a social club. We are reacquiring our heritage. Our heritage is the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. And we want to adhere to them with what? Gladness of heart. We want to, look, you want to be proud. You want to stick your chest out. You want to be happy. We get the opportunity to even keep the law, statute, commandments. You know what? Because the folk who he didn't give them to, what he say, they nothing more than what? A drop from a bucket. They the same as spittle. That's like, that's what you think about all the other nations, but not you, Israel. He's giving you your own language. He's giving you your own culture directly from him. You are the only people on the face of the earth that can run the earth righteously, because everybody else comes from their own perspective. The Most High gave you his perspective. Back in the garden, he reiterated with Abraham, reiterated again with Isaac, did it again with Jacob, changed his name to Israel. And guess what? In 2022, under Commander General Yohanan, here we go again. We letting you know, thus saith the Lord, the Most High. Man, and y'all better pay attention. Look at Ezekiel 38, that's why I read about that hook. And I keep wondering, I ask them all my Alawanian, you know, every time I run into them, hey, is this the hook? Is this the hook in Putin's jaw and all that? You see that? The Most High controls everything. Learn your language. Here we go. What are we learning different today? Okay? What I want you to do is give me the pronunciation of these words using English letters. English letters, okay? I want to do a whole lot, right? But I'm not. Right now, I'm going to do about 6. That's all I'm going to do. But I want to see if you can take what you've learned and pronounce these words. And the last one is, all right. Here's the first thing. Give me, in English letters, the pronunciation of the words I just put up here. And y'all need to write these down. It's important. If you don't have this, I know you don't have it. First of all, I'll call this one. Write it down. You need to write that down. First, give me in the chat room the pronunciation I gotta do this. Starting here. Okay, this is the order. Why is this the order? Of course, we go top to bottom, but we only go right to left, right to left, right to left. Never go left to right. We read right to left. I'm gonna keep giving that to you. All right? Let me get those Hebrew pronunciations. Let me get those Hebrew pronunciations. Appreciate y'all having here while y'all figure those out. Let me go get you something to listen to. What y'all want to hear, man? Sisters, brothers, what y'all want to hear? You know, I'm not a big DJ. I got a limited. So how about this? Let's get some Kimo Sabi up in here. But while y'all figure that out, please give me your answers in the chat room before this all finished. Here we go.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, now.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it coast. Cause if they make the wrong move it coast. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket. Can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Kimo Sabi got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it coast. Cause if they make the wrong move it coast. Coming up on my divorce. I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fucking scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow Air Ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up on my divorce.
Shanya, Shalash, those are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Those are absolutely correct. What's the other three? What's the other three? And look at here, I'm gonna show y'all. So the sister actually spelled that absolutely correct. A cod. You see that? You see what she put on there? She spelled it absolutely correct. Akkad. See that? Absolutely correct. What's these three? Anybody else want to try? Oh, I know how to fix that. What we got here? First one is correct, sis. Second one is correct. And the third one is absolutely correct. Wow. What are we doing? Whatever we're doing, we just did it in order. Whatever we're doing, we just did it in order. And all we did was call off numbers. Akkad is 1. Shanya is 2. Shalash is 3. Write this down, y'all. A rabbi is 4. Chamash is 5. And Shasha is 6. Okay? Y'all got that? So y'all see what we're working on. Everybody got that? Because I'm going to erase this. I'm going to squeeze some more in. So, forgive me if I prematurely took this down. I would say hit me in the back channel, but that's one thing. Call one of my wives, and call the school if you need some more about this, or say something on the next class when we there. We went through up to 6, so we're going with Hope y'all can see that. This is the last one in this series. Okay? I want the same thing. And since you got all the right answers last time, please keep it up. I need somebody else to jump up here and give some answers too. All right? Mark is right. Sha-Sha is right. Sean is putting it right. It's Shaya. La-Sha is right. And La-Sha is spelling correct. Good job, sis. Excellent job. Excellent job. Not perfect, but yeah. Okay? What we got on the board now? What we got on the board now? You know, we're going to take one more step further than this. Now, everything you just learned up to this point, I really, really, really need you to remember this. These are important. La-Sha, Shaya, Shalach, a rabbi, a wife, Sha-Sha, and what we have up on the board. These are primarily important. If you remember, these are basic block building blocks. You're going to use these again, I can say. See that? Again, once you're looking at five, Shaya, Shalash, a rabbi, a mash, and Sha-Sha. Remember those. Write them down. You're going to see them again. And you are going to need them. All right? But what do we have on the board now? Need some answers. Especially y'all good readers. Got two sisters that respond. Anybody else out there? Get in a position to respond. Let's jump in there. Give us some answers. We are all here to learn. We grow together. See that? We grow together. God. I'm going to show you how interesting learning your own language is. There was a stone, looks something like this. And I'm going to just do this. I don't know what was written on it. If I knew what was written on it, right, then I would write that on there. But this is what was written on the stone. Something was written on the stone, right? And they found it in some kind of Indian mounds or something in the Midwest. Stone like that has some stuff written on it. Nobody could understand it, or who was looking at it. And so they filed it away, and they orientated it in such a way that this is the way they believe the stone should go. Years and years and years and years later, another fella comes along, and for some reason, and the stone was called the Bath. Look it up. It's called the Bath Creek Stone. Okay? Years later, Another fella comes along, right? And he's looking at whatever they got stashed away in this Bass Creek Stone. And he said, "Oh, y'all, you said y'all couldn't decipher it. Y'all don't know what it says and all that." I said, "No, we don't." He said, "Well, your first problem is you got it upside down. If it was upside down, then this is how this would look." See that? That is this flipped upside down. He told them they had the stone upside down. That's why they couldn't read what was on the stone. So and they flipped it over and they said, "Well, if you do that, you know what's on it?" He said, "Of course I do." I don't remember what he said. I don't know if they told me what it was. But it did identify the carvings in the stone as being Hebrew. They identified the lettering as being ancient or Paleo Hebrew here in the United States of America. This is why it was found in what's called an Indian mound. This is just one of the proofs that the Native American is your brother, La-Sha-Wan, Yahweh. You know, that Gad is your brother. God is your brother. That's how we pronounce it. Okay. What do you got? Somebody come up with something else? We got something. Okay, I'm gonna let you get that away. Shabbat, that's not how it's spelled, but yes, that's correct. So I know what you mean. The second one is Shama-Wan Na. Shama-Wan Na with the eighth. Correct. The third one is shy. Is that what you put? Yes, misspelled, of course. So let me explain this. Let me explain this. We do learn based on culture. In American culture, in the Eastern and Western, this world culture, AI is pronounced I. So when you see Shabbat, B-A-I, you pronounce it Shabbat. Okay? But if we're spelling it out in Hebrew, drop the A, it would just be Shabbat, the B and the I. The same with the shot. Drop the A, it would be the shot. You see that? Because you got your shot, and you got your I. You don't confuse people by adding the A in there. That's some exotic shit from their language, using their curve. So we don't do that. We put we're there shy, S-H-I, and we don't do that. And the last one is what? I shall rock. Let's just say I shall rock. Absolutely correct. This is absolutely correct. And if you follow my thinking and what I was doing before, this is what? What's the first one? Shabbat. Shabbat is 7. Shama-Wana is 8. Thashai, Thashai is 9. And watch this. Remember this one? Aishara is 10. Aishara is 10. Remember these. From Akkad to Aishara. You should already be familiar with Aishara. Every Sabbath we read the what? Announcements. They read the announcements. We talk about the tithe, and it said Aishara, meaning 1/10. 10. Aishara. You see that? This is why we're gonna learn our own language, because just like we use one word in English It means many different things. We can do the same thing. We do the same thing here. You're going to hear words over and over and over and over again. Shabbat. See that? Shabbat. Okay. Y'all got that? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's what we've gone over. So what are we doing today? Of course, we're doing numbers. We are messing with numbers. Show you something here. Not hard. Remember I said those first 10 numbers, you want to memorize them like your alphabet. Achad, Shaya, Shalash, Arabai, Kamash, Shasha, Shabai, Shamawana, Tashai, Aishara. Why? I ask you to remember. So, what number is that? This is why I ask you to remember. There is a pattern. There's almost everything that goes on. The Most High, about regular order. There's no order to everything. What word is that? Now, I'm going to ask you to tell me what number is that? See if I can make this much easier. How about this? What word and what number? See that? Same thing. I'm asking you the same thing. You just wrote what I asked you to write down. I gave you the answer to what those were. La says, you're doing some right thinking. You're doing some right thinking. But la, that's not it. The sister said the person is 110. She has no clue how close she is. Right? That is not the correct answer, but she is super, super close. To give you a hint, break them down. Is this one word or is this two words? Is this one word or is this two words? Can you get two different things out of this? What's the first word? You know the first word, and you know the second word, even though put together they're one word. You've seen them both before. So instead of just giving me the number, write it down in English letters. Show me what you get when you write this word down in English letters. The first one, the very top. What do you get when you write it down in English letters? You know what? Let's listen. She figured it out. Boom. Let's give her that credit. Big up. Yes, Sister Hayden. That's absolutely correct. Now, what is the Hebrew pronunciation? For the number 11. For the number 11. What's the Hebrew pronunciation? So I get that written down. Brothers, sisters, can you help a brother out? What's the Hebrew pronunciation? You've already pronounced both of these words. Now pronounce it as one word. That's all we have to do. Right? How about this? This might be the first time y'all get a little homework. I think I'm gonna give it to y'all. We're gonna come back to this. Y'all gonna answer the question? What are these two words? Is that what I saw? I'm gonna give you this one. This is 20. Aisha Raya. Aisha Raya. Aisha Rayam. Aisha Raya. That's 20. Okay? This is 30. Shalashya. Shalashyam. Shalashyam. That's 30. This is what I want y'all to do. This is your homework. I want you to come back next week with the Hebrew. You're going to count from Aisharah, give every number up to Shalashyam. Matter of fact, up through 39. And you're going to give it to me in the Hebrew, in order. You got that? You're going to start at Aisharah, and you're going to stop at whatever the Hebrew is for 39. You got that? So that means you're going to give me 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You give me all that. Kar Aisharah. You're absolutely right, sis. That's exactly what that is. And you figured it out. Akkad is 1. Aisharah is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. So what is the one right up under Akkad Aisharah? What is the one up under Akkad Aisharah? What you got? La-Sha, I don't see it. Do I write that back? There's no La out there. That's an odd. That's an odd. That second word, that's an odd. I mean, no, that's a rock. I bet. Well, let me look. That might be an odd or a rock. I guess my writing is that bad. What the hell? What I wrote right there. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. All right. So I like it. So take a look at it again, though. It's not pushed out. Those boxes up there. There you go. Okay. Do we understand the assignment? Do we understand the assignment? You're going to write from Aishara to 39, but it's going to be in Hebrew. You're going to write it out in Hebrew. That's what you're going to bring back next week. Okay? That's what you're going to bring back next week. That's your homework. So, we got Achad, Aishara, or 11. We got Shabbai, Aishara. What is Shabbai? Do we have a Shabbai? We do. Shabbai was 7 and 10. This is now 17. This is Aishara. Is that right? Aishara Yom. Aishara Yom. This is Shalash Yom. Now, question. Aishara Yom is the only one that well, it's not following a pattern, but you should be able to figure out. Aishara Yom is 20, so Akkad Aishara Yom is 21. See that? Why would we put Akkad in front of Aishara Yom? Because when we went to find 10, what do we see with 10? It is Aishara. And then we look at 11, it is Akkad Aishara. So it would be Akkad. We see in that the Lord number, the 1, the 2, the 3 come before the 10th place. So it's Akkad Aishara. Akkad Aishara Yom. Akkad Shalash Yom. Akkad Arabah. You see Yom, Arabah Yom. The Yom, watch this, takes 4 to 40. The Yom takes 2 Shanya to 20. No, it doesn't take Shanya there. It starts with the 30. Shalash is 3. Shalash Yom is 30. You see? The Shayam of the Shai is 9. The Shayam is 19. So, I hope you understand the homework. I'm giving you this stuff kind of easy. The Shai is 9. We trying to get it to you easy. What you're going to do is you're going to write it out in Hebrew from 10 to 39. Why? Because you got 10, you got 20, and you got 30 on the board. You also have 11 and 17 on the board as your example. They're all fit the same way. 1 through 9 is said first, Akkad or Shabbat or Shai. They all said the same way, right? So what is 20 is Aishara Yom. Aishara, but Shanya is 2. Aishara is 20. Aishara Yom. Aishara Yom is 20. But the pattern gets easier when you talk about 30 because this shalash yum. And shalash is 3. You see that? Shalash is 3. So to say 30, you say shalash yum. Arabi is 4. Arabi yum. Arabi yum is 5. Arabi is 4. Arabi yum is 40. Kamash is 5. Kamash yum is 50. Shasha is 6. Shasha yum is 60. Shabai is 7. Shabai yum is 70. Shamawana is 8. Shamawana yum is 80. The Shai is 9. The Shayam is 90. Aishara is 10. Ma'ah is 100, is 100. And that's where you change. Ma'ah. If you want to know 200, what would you say? Shanya Ma'ah. You see that? You go to 2, then you say 100. 300, Shalash Ma'ah. You see that? Ma'ayam. Okay. Ma'ayam. Ma'ah is 100. Ma'ayam means plural 100. That's yam. You see that? That's all that is. It's plural. Give me a number. Shabai, singular. Shabayam, plural meaning 7. You see that? Gonna hold on to these. I hope y'all got that. I will be expecting to see that homework next week. Write it down on pieces of paper because what I'm gonna probably do is send out. Y'all remind me. I'm gonna send out a way you can connect, and that way, send out links so that you can connect, and that way you can get your homework completed. So you got homework. You went through a bunch of numbers. We're coming up on close to 2 hours, so we're gonna say shalom. We're gonna end the class. Say shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Barakatam to my brothers and shalom. Shamar Alatan Bahashem Yahweh Shah to my sisters. Look, pay your tithe, pay your Passover fee, and we'll see you in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Don't miss the Passover. This is the way you can what? Gather yourselves together. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We'll see you at the Passover. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah and Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahweh Shah.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues. Call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no code.